Industries, located 5 minutes south of Mall of America, are welcome to help efforts with the Gulf oil spill. For details, go to ASLANINST.com.
I was just flipped off by a silver-haired old lady with a honk if you love Jesus sticker on the bumper of her car.
10:50, that's 10 minutes before 11 a.m., broadcasting live in the Twin Cities on AM 950 and at DougPagitRadio.com. Those of you that are having a little echo problem over there on the Ustream video side of the site, I'll try to work on that. Apologize for that, don't know why that's happening. Hey, we have a segment at the end of the first hour that I call Cripes. Come on, you've got to be kidding me. And these are things in the world that I've noticed during the course of the last week. They're enough to make a guy say cripes. Come on, you got to be kidding me about the way that things are in the world. And then we try to end the second hour with a segment that we call Right On, where things are right and the way that they're supposed to be. And I like to say that we have choices to make in the world. Do we want to live in a world that's made up of the things that make us say cripes and come on and you got to be kidding me? Or do we want to live in a world where things are made up of the right-ons? So we're going to make that world one way or the other. So it's worth noticing them both because we live with both of them all the time. Hey, my cripes. This is going to be a little political today. The cripes that come on, you got to be kidding me. This segment is going to have a political edge to it because it's the political folks that are making me say cripes and come on, and you got to be kidding me. Now, I'm an indie demican. An indie demican is an approach that I've tried to coin. What it means to be an indie demican is that somebody likes and respects the perspectives that come from a wide range of political viewpoints because it's my feeling that, first of all, the political winds of the world change, that people who would think that what they want to hold to is a conservative or a liberal viewpoint, that the different political parties change on whether they hold that viewpoint or not. And so we all live in this world in which there's a lot of complexity and there's a lot of change. And no one political party can be right on everything. It's just not possible. You can be an independent and you've got a point to make. You can be a Republican and you got a point to make. You can be a Democrat and I think you have a few more points to make, but you've got a point to make. And nobody's wrong all the time. It's just not possible for any one political party to be right 100% of the time and not right 100% of the time. So I like to say, let's listen to as many perspectives as we can hold. Let's listen to the independents and the Republicans, the Democrats. I say all of that because I'm going to go after both a Republican and a Democrat today. My cripes. Here's my cripes. Actually, doesn't happen very often, but he earns a cripes and a come on. Same guy. Governor Tim Pawlenty. Seriously. This guy. What happened to him? I mean, what happened when? Well, I know what happened to him. He decided to run for president. He decided to become a big shot with the conservatives. He decided to move from being somebody who was reasonable, somebody who would try to bring folks together, somebody who held a perspective and wanted to see that sitting alongside other perspectives, to an ideologue. And he's killing the political process in this state. Now, he's not going to kill this state. Even Pawlenty can't kill this state. He's not going to do that because the state is made up of good people, but he's going to make it awfully difficult by this ideological rant that he's on about not wanting to raise any more revenue for the state in the middle of an intense economic crisis. It's just unbelievable to me. Makes me give him a cripes and a come on every time I hear him talk about this because it's so unreasonable to not even say, let's do something on a temporary basis. Let's raise revenue on a temporary basis that will not have impact in the long haul. Let's solve this problem. Now, here's how I understand what Pawlenty's doing. He's saying our funding problems are going to be solved in our budget when the economy bounces back. So the thing we got to do is make sure the economy bounces back. Okay, fair enough. But in the meantime, the economy isn't bouncing back right now, and there needs to be a budget for the next biennium. So how about this? You find a way to add some revenue that won't cause the economy to not bounce back. And truthfully, taxes are not the primary reason why people start or don't start businesses. That's ideological about your view of the role of government, and you're putting it on the backs of the future economic growth. And it's just wrong, T-Paw. It's just wrong. You know it, and everybody else knows it. You're just committed to making sure that you can hold to a no new taxes pledge. Doesn't have, you know as well as, I mean, every time I hear these people say, if you raise taxes, that's going to create a business environment that people won't start new businesses. I start new businesses, Mr. Palenti, and I can tell you, tax rate, temporary taxes, even long-term taxes, doesn't even come into the picture for people who start new businesses because it's a part of their calling in their lives, because it's part of their overall economic plans, because of the way that they want to contribute in the world. And we are not even close to having an environment that punishes people for starting new businesses. It just makes me crazy. Makes me say cripes and come on. So the fact that he's driving this thing to the final hours with the legislature, and good for Representative Kelleher just staying on about this. Don't give in to this guy today. Do not do it, because you know he's got another agenda going. Just cripes and come on. If you listen to the show, know that I don't double them up very much. But sometimes cripes doesn't say enough. Sometimes just a come on isn't enough. Okay, here's my you gotta be kidding me. My you gotta be kidding me goes to the President of the United States and his White House communications staff. They have put together a blog called whitehouse.gov/blog. On the blog, they run their own news features, and they have a weekly White House video that they put together. You can find it at their blog. Go to whitehouse.gov/blog, and you can see the weekly video that they put up with little snippets that they have. Here's where you get my you gotta be kidding me. Do you know, White House communication staff, that one of the critiques of the Obama administration is that people feel like you're wanting folks to talk about the president as if he's the revered leader? Like do you know that? Do you hear that? Because you got to be kidding me here. If you're not sensing that when you put out your own videos, when you put out your own news releases, instead of having question and answers with the reporters, when you do that, it looks like the kinds of things that other nations do when they want to set up their leader in this kind of propaganda-like mode. Now look, I'm all for the blog. I'm all for the social networking. I'm all for the internet. I think it's a great way for folks to communicate in addition to the news media. But you can't simply work around that and craft everything into these 4-minute video narratives about what a great week the president had. It looks like the kind of stuff that comes out of nations in which the great supreme leaders are not challenged. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. It's just, the tone deafness on both sides. The Palenti guy with his stuff, and now Obama and his crowd putting out these blogs and news reels that look like that. It just makes me say, are you paying any attention to your critics at all? I don't think you bow to your critics, but you at least should be listening to them. Just things that make me say cripes and come on, and you gotta be kidding me. T-Paw and Big O. You've earned it today, friends. You and your staffs. You've earned it today. But let's not live in a world that's just full of the cripes and the come on, you gotta be kidding me. Let's build the world that we want to have. Let's be those people. We'll be back with the second hour. My friend Joel Vestal on AM 950, the voice of Minnesota.